here at AutoZone Park. It has been a long time coming, but for Memphis 901 FC, they are finally home to start a two-match homestand. Tonight, they face San Antonio FC. It's a club Memphis 901 FC has never defeated. Memphis and San Antonio, they unite here in downtown Memphis. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the excitement of USL Championship soccer. From AutoZone Park in downtown Memphis, Tennessee, Memphis 901 FC returns home after a three-match road trip as they take on San Antonio FC. San Antonio, a 1-0 victor over Memphis earlier this season. And on this hot and humid night in downtown Memphis, we welcome you inside our broadcast booth. Pete Pranica, Jeff Brightwell. Jeff, important two-match homestand for 901 FC, fourth in the Western Conference, trying to move up the table and push other teams like San Antonio further down.
But 901 FC, Pete, they're just 4 from second spot, and that would be great. However, if you look at that group of 9, they're only 3 above the playoff line. Meanwhile, San Antonio, they've got to find a way to get any kind of result tonight.
Well, they haven't gotten results, I should say, on the road. 1-7-1 on the road. They're going to rely on Juan Agudelo to put the ball in the back of the net.
Agudelo's been great, leading the team, big margin, 28 shots. He's the creator, 7 goals, 17 appearances. He just came back from an injury a little under a month ago. Memphis can slow him down. Memphis should have good luck tonight.
For Memphis 901 FC, the injury bug has bit them, but they've got reinforcements. New keeper tonight, Tristan Henry.
One of 2 signees this week, Tristan Henry along with John Baquero. Henry out of Ontario. Boy, he is fabulous. One of the best in Canada. 9 clean sheets, 27 matches a year ago. He won 4 championships in 5 years with Forge FC and 105 appearances.
Tyler Derrick has been dealing with some injury issues. He's in the 18, but he will not be in the sticks tonight. Memphis also signing John Baquero, a college teammate of Bruno Lapa. What will happen tonight as 901 FC takes on San Antonio? Starting 11s and the opening kick in a moment. Memphis 901 FC fans happy to be back in the friendly confines of AutoZone Park as tonight they take on San Antonio. Let's get a look at the starting 11s for both teams. San Antonio has really struggled after a strong start. Memphis coming off a 3-match road trip in which they won 1 and lost 2. They're coming off a 1-0 defeat at Tulsa last weekend. For San Antonio, they will start with Pablo Cisniega in goal tonight. And you look at Hernandez in the middle. He is a very effective playmaker for them. And Juan Agudela is wearing the number 17 shirt. He is their leading goal scorer with 7 on the season. But San Antonio, they are likewise coming out off a loss. They lost 2-0 at Orange County. For 901 FC, they come in at 8-4 on the season, and they will line up this way. John Baquero is going to get a start up top in his first look for Memphis 901 FC. They're also looking at Luis Fernando. Knight Pickering getting a start tonight. Tristan Henry will start in the sticks tonight. Bruno Lapa has been battling injury. He is in the 18. There is hope that he will be able to play tonight. And Tyler Derrick, he's been battling injury, and so that's why new signee Tristan Henry will be in the sticks tonight. Jeff, this is a moment that 901 FC has really wanted. They have relished. The travel has been very hard. Being in the Western Conference now, they're happy to be home.
Well, Pete, it's one of those things. It's kind of a double-edged sword. During the regular season, you've got to take the longest road trips. If you can secure that home playoff match, though, they're going to have to make the longest road trip to come here for the playoffs. That's kind of what's on the line tonight as far as getting yourself in position, because, look, there's 13 matches left, but they're going to start peeling off pretty quick.
They are indeed. You saw early on what San Antonio likes to do. They like to play a lot of Route 1 football. They want to be direct. They do a good job, Jeff, with possession, but it's not because of build-up. They will possess. They will go long. In hockey terms, it's like dump and chase.
Right. They've got 5 in the midfield. They're only going to play 2 up top, as you see with Agudelo, and then Chol up top, so you can control it in the midfield area.
This ball in the hands of the keeper, Pablo Cisniega, starting his 11th match for San Antonio. The Campbell Clinic injury report. Nico Brett is out due to injury. Sissoko and Marlin, red card suspensions stemming from the end of the game in Tulsa last weekend. So Memphis missing one of their leading goal producer, and Marlon Santos, and Lapa also with 7 goals would be in a reserve role tonight. He's been battling a bit of a toe injury that he incurred in that Detroit game.
Well, interesting to see what Stephen Glass puts together tonight. 6 changes in the starting lineup. That's the most Memphis 901 FC has had this year, where those signings could not have come at a better time for Memphis.
Jorge Hernandez will take the free kick. Memphis organizing its wall. Locked it to the top of the 18, headed away. Cariaga onto it for 901 FC.
It's too shallow on that direct kick. Came behind the line, couldn't get it at the top of the wall for a header. Couldn't go over the wall maybe for a one-timer.
Nakeem Ward with the giveaway and a throw-in for Machop Chol and San Antonio. This is Luke Hawkinson with a deep ball in, and another touch for Tristan Henry. Tristan Henry signed a multi-year deal on July 23rd. He's a 4-time Canadian Premier League champion, playing with Forge FC over 5 seasons. Last year, he led the Canadian Premier League with 9 clean sheets. Memphis has had their eye on him for some time. It took a while to get the actual signing done, and it couldn't have come, Jeff, as you said, at a much better time. Hernandez on it. He loses his footing. And now Hawkinson. And Hawkinson lays it back to Kevon Lambert. As you look at Stephen Glass, the manager for Memphis 901 FC in his 2nd season, named manager in November of 2022.
Well, he's just done an outstanding job. Look, he took over at a crucial time. He get the playoff streak going. He's in contention right now. As we talked about, he's in that group of 9 teams contending, making some switches. Now for the first time this season, really kind of dealing with a little bit of attrition with some injuries. They've been fortunate the majority of the season, but as you mentioned, gets the signees, makes the switches, see how it comes out tonight. But you're playing shorthanded. It's going to be fun to see how this is pieced together tonight.
So another free kick for Hernandez. Abdu Njai is our center official tonight, assisted by Zeno Cho and Austin Holt. Deshaun Beard is our 4th official tonight. That's sent in and headed away. Heineman. Cariaga on the pickup. Long ball. great run. And the cross comes to naught for Memphis. Picked up by Hernandez.
Good thought on the cross had Fernando making his way down the middle. That may be one of the players that steps up tonight for some scores. Like we've talked about Lapa and Marlin this year, but they've got several players of 2 to 3 goals that can contribute on any given night.
They've combined for 14 goals. That ball played into space, intercepted. This is Carter Manley for San Antonio. San Antonio has struggled mightily on the road. Here's Turchi finding Pickering. Pickering is taken to the floor and no whistle. Pickering regains his feet, but Memphis not able to maintain possession. And then now a foul is called, and I'm sure Stephen Glass is going to be real thrilled with that after Pickering was sent to the floor. This is Jake LaCava, who came over to San Antonio mid-season pickup from Charleston Battery. Turchi with the challenge and did catch the leg.
Just enough from Turchi there on that left side.
Alan Marcina, 5th season with San Antonio, and Jeff, we talked about it before the game. This is a San Antonio club that has had a remarkable run of success under him. Playoffs each of the 4 prior seasons, Western semifinals each of the last 3 seasons, and the championship in 2022.
Yeah, it's got to be a little frustrating at times, and most times this year for Alan Marcina. You mentioned the success that he's had, but 18 newcomers on this team. Sometimes it takes a little while to figure each other out, kind of gel. That just may be what they're dealing with this season.
Fernando taken to ground and a whistle, and he will relace the boots. Get a look at that challenge by Kendall Burks that drew the whistle. Talked to several of the players at training on Thursday. They do expect that this will be a physical battle, because San Antonio right now at the bottom of the Western table, not at the dead cellar, but awfully close to it, along with El Paso, who, by the way, will be the opposition for 901 FC next Saturday. And a foul on Cariaga.
Nothing malicious, but some pretty good contact there going for the duel. You kind of hear the smack when they collided out in the open field. Hawkinson's the one that took the brunt of that one.
You saw Akeem Ward wearing the captain's armband tonight, making his appeal. Yeah, it was the right arm by Cariaga. Take another look right there. The right elbow catches Hawkinson up high, and I think a fair decision by Abdu Njai. But this is already the 3rd free kick in attacking territory for San Antonio.
And I can assure you that it's going to be Hernandez that takes almost every, if not every, free kick tonight.
Lofts it into the 18. Header, and headed right on frame by Hernandez and saved by Tristan Henry. So the first shot on target he deals with successfully.
Sure, Henry's glad to get that one out of the way. A little misdirection, not the hardest save, but a little misdirection on the header. Go ahead and get that out of the way.
Cariaga working a combination with Vaquero. Now they switch to the other side. Zach Duncan, that ball going through to Cisniega.
Got some good elevation on it here, Pete.
And actually it was Chol that got the head on it. 80, not 10.
Back line's going to be so key tonight, I think, for San Antonio. You see right there, whether it's Manley, Tainter, or Burks. And Burks one to watch. He's fans' choice midseason defensive player of the year. They'll rely on him. And as you mentioned, they're going to have to make it physical if they're going to try to slow down the attack of Memphis, even with the 6 switches tonight for 901 FC.
Yeah, Memphis, you can argue, is the most dangerous offensive club in the Western Conference. Henry trying to connect with Pickering. Duncan battling for it, but losing it. Another direct ball played in. This is San Antonio's game, but it has not been successful on the road. Well, it just hasn't been successful as of late. They have lost 6 of their last 7 league matches. Only a win over Phoenix Rising back on July the 6th, and that takes a touch off of Henry and a corner, first of the night for San Antonio.
Yeah, a little more velocity on that one, and a nice job by Henry lunging to his left to get a hand on it. LaCava put a little zip on that one.
Memphis not able to clear, and LaCava forcing the parry.
Yeah, they're going to go backside on this corner, Pete. They've got one right there at the 6, every one on the backside.
Far post. Carson Vom Steeg back there to clear it. Vaquero can't keep it in play.
Little jumbled up. They start on that back 90 in the 18. They collapse in there, just couldn't find a clear path. Nothing comes of it. San Antonio, though, I think here in the 10th minute, you got to be somewhat pleased with how the match has gone. They've forced the ball up a little bit into Memphis defensive third. Memphis thus far really no serious chances as of yet. They're trying to get this thing settled in.
Akeem Ward into the area. Hyndman was trying to keep it, but 9-1 FC, they have struggled with possession here early. Agudelo on the wing. He's dispossessed. Opportunity here. Duncan moving forward. Top of the 18, now into the 18. Makes his move, tries to cut it back, and it will be a corner kick for 9-1 FC, their first of the night.
Really like what you saw there by the San Antonio defense that time as they played Duncan off the ball. They kind of hedged down. Didn't allow him to accelerate or pull back and turn the corner or get a crossing pass. They'll take the corner kick and a set piece out of this. They kept it out of the middle.
See if Memphis can manufacture something out of this. Memphis with 16 first half goals. That's third in the USL, tops in the West. They also lead the league with 6 goals in the first quarter hour. They have been good early. They have been good late. In swinger, and it comes right to Cisniega. So easily handled, and nothing comes of that opportunity for 9-1 FC.
Not a bad service in there. It hooked in, had a little movement on, and Cisniega caught it all the way. Bring that out a little bit. Maybe you find a header. Maybe you get some sort of deflection, but Garriega, not a bad opportunity. No result, though.
Long ball here. Vom Steeg plays it back to his keeper, Henry. A quick distribution by Henry.
You know, Pete, you go back to your point. Memphis has done a really nice job to score early. They've done a nice job to score late. It gets a little jumbled up in the middle part of the matches, though.
Hawkinson trying to run that down. He and Ward come together. Ward gets it right and wins the ball back into space. Plenty of holding by Burks against Vaquero.
But to continue that point, one of the things I think's become frustrating for Memphis, you pick up the fouls that whip their explosive offense. You just take a look at Stephen Glass arguing his case. Teams have been kind of beating on Memphis. They're going to be very physical. It's just a matter of you've got to take the bumps. You've got to take the hits. You can't. It's easier said than done. You've got to kind of maintain that composure. You know, with the way that you can score, you're going to be played physical.
Turchi has to concede the throw in, as he had Machop Chol closing in on him. It was Chol that had the one and only shot on frame. Memphis really struggled offensively in the last game. Just one shot on target for 9-1 FC at Tulsa last Saturday night. Turchi with the clearance. Nelson Flores Blanco back, but he loses it to Fernando. Long ball. Hyndman in hot pursuit. Emerson Hyndman, formerly of Atlanta United, knows Stephen Glass well. They switch it to a central ball. Ward with an ambitious attempt from distance well over the bar.
Yeah, took a swing at it about 30 yards out. A little too much elevation on that one. He did have Vaquero right in front of it. That's much too close to pass. Really, he had two options. Either strike from distance, stop, pull it back out, get reorganized.
Talked about Memphis and their changes from last match to this. San Antonio coming into tonight's match, 18 different starting lineups, 89 matches lost to injury. They have used 27 players this season, and 10 different players have scored goals. Agudelo leading the way with 7. But then after that, you go to Lambert. He has a couple. Hawkinson has a couple. Manley has a couple.
Well, it's just hard. There's no consistency with the injuries and the newcomers you mentioned. It's many switches. If you're not able to get organized on a consistent basis, like you're playing next to someone, you get to know their tendencies, but you're switching that much. It's just a tough job this year for Alan Marcina, who's used to a lot of success.
Memphis will get the restart here in the 15th minute as you look at Lucas Turchi.
Turchi, couple goals, couple assists this season. Very active player.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jeff, in the last 14 matches, 21 of the club's 25 goals have been scored by Brazilians.
They've definitely got the Brazilian connection this season. They've come through huge.
Fernando turning, and looks like we're going to have a booking. Zach Duncan, or at least he's getting a talking to. And we've had more conversations and physicality.
We've seen a lot of this over the last month. Like the matches I've been fortunate to call the last month, teams bearing down on Memphis. They're not going to get in a running match. They're going to put a body on you. Duncan's been mixed up with a lot of them. You see him get tied up with Jorge Hernandez there.
Yeah.
And right in front of the official, what that official saw was the hand come onto the back and the arm extension.
Did not see a card come out, which frankly I'm a little bit surprised.
May just be cautious early here in the 16th minute, because look, you're talking about a Memphis team that leads the league with 65 yellow cards, second with the fouls conceded this year. You know it's going to be physical, and you're probably going to have quite a few fouls. At least keep them off the ledger early.
Pickering onto it, lays it off for Cariaga, and now Ward. This is John Baquero, Spaniard. Oh, great ball intended for Pickering, but doesn't get through. I like the idea, but it does not bear any fruit for 901.
You're going to see Pickering here when he gets opportunities. Started out with a goal early in the season. In fact, the goal of the week scored recently within the last month. He's a young guy that came on the scene last season. See how he continues to develop, but now picking up a few more minutes with a few more opportunities. Really like how he's developed physically from last season to this year.
And still just 19 years of age as you look at Juan Agudelo, a Colombian native. His first season with San Antonio. He is no stranger to Memphis 901 FC because he spent his prior 2 years with Birmingham Legion. And off the restart, trying to link with Heineman. Fernando. Belt bicycle kick attempt by Baquero goes wide. Baquero had been playing in Bulgaria and Spain. He does have significant USL experience, 72 matches and 11 goals, mostly with Phoenix Rising. And as we've already mentioned, he was a collegiate teammate with Bruno Lapa.
Nifty little flick there, about all he could do. Didn't put it far from the post. Boy, he had a lot of success at Wake Forest. Mac Herman Trophy. That's the Collegiate Player of the Year, ACC Player of the Year. The best thing I think about these signees, where you take a look at Tristan Henry, 30 years old, Baquero, 27 years old. Not only do they bring experience at their age, bring a little bit of maturity as well.
Memphis with designs on lifting the silverware at the end of the season. Made the playoffs again last year. A home loss on penalty kicks to Louisville City when they really had played very well throughout the match. But the penalty kick shootout can be a very fickle and brutal way to see your season end. Again, Memphis having to concede the throw in here. 19th minute. Memphis has been very good at home. They're unbeaten in their last 6 at home, 4-0-2. But this is the first time in the month of July they've been at home.
It has been a while. They get a little respite tonight from the weather. It's been cloudy day, a little rain in the Memphis area, so you're not dealing with the intense heat. Still humid here in the Delta, as it always is, as we're approaching August here in late July.
Ward against Chol, trying to avoid conceding the corner. Chol into the top of the box. Quezada, or Aguadella rather, was trying to turn on it. San Antonio applying some pressure. That long ball will result in a goal kick for Tristan Henry.
Just a little contact inside the 18. No foul drawn off of this. They'll check on him, though. A little arm wrapped around there. Well, Henry's seen a couple of shots thus far. One save directly at him early in the first couple of minutes. Lunge to his left on a LaCava strike at about the 5-minute mark. Look, obviously he brings incredible credentials to Memphis 901 FC, but you're still playing with a brand new club on a brand new pitch, getting your first minutes of the season. And look, Tyler Derrick did a yeoman's job, played every minute up until this point. He's still got plenty of minutes in him. He's done a nice job, but that's going to build on you throughout the season. I'm sure he's glad to at least have a night off.
Yeah, he's been a little banged up. He had started all 20 prior games for 901 FC. 3 clean sheets for him. And so now you've got 2 keepers, and you made the point, Jeff, about Henry being 30, Derrick 35. So you've got real veteran leadership back there. Duncan playing it forward. That was off of Pickering. Intercepted by Kendall Burks, and back to Cisniega. But Carroll blooming and forces a bad distribution that will result in a Memphis throw-in, while we tell everybody that Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. So visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice.
You mentioned the maturity, the age of the keepers. And that's just a bonus because, look, I think, in my opinion, the back line, where you talk about Bomsteeg, Turchi, Ward, Carriega getting a start tonight, they've done a nice job to keep the ball off of Derrick a lot this year. He's come up, made saves when he's needed to. But, look, the attrition's going to get to you eventually. But as much as we talk about, and the league talks about the 901 offense, 901 FC defense has been relatively stout this season as well.
Duncan lays it off for Ward. Ward through ball, but a bit heavy with the touch. And now Turchi, a dead sprint to win it back for Memphis. And a whistle stops play here in the 22nd minute.
Be eager to watch John Baccaro tonight as you take a look there at Lucas Turchi along the back line. You're so used to seeing Marlon make the deep runs. Memphis going over the top. Let him catch up with the ball, just stay on side. See what kind of subtle differences we see out of John Baccaro tonight, since he's going to take that role up top.
And it'll be a Memphis foul on Baccaro on the aerial duel with Kevon Lambert.
Well, despite San Antonio playing up top a little early in the match, you still have 55% possession by Memphis. Things have kind of settled in after San Antonio made that initial push in the first 3 minutes.
And Memphis actually has more touches in the opponent's box, 3-1 at this point. No big chances either way. That ball off the boot of Hernandez. Ward working the left side. Now Carriaga calls for it. Baccaro a bit heavy off his boot. And Memphis starting to put some possession together here. Hindman. And it will be a San Antonio throw-in.
Sort of that is a nice build-up for Memphis. And again, the formation that San Antonio is going to play with the 5 midfielders, they're going to try to clog it up. And Memphis likes to play possession, but if they're going to keep the 5 in there and try to clog it up, you may see Memphis try to put one off the foot of Baccaro, maybe start to go over the top just a little bit.
San Antonio, they'll play 5 in the midfield. They will man mark you in the midfield. They will stay with you like glue. That is how they want to play. So can you get around the midfield? Can you work the channels and get wide? Memphis has had a couple of possessions, Jeff, where they've switched the play from side to side, trying to get around that midfield man-mark defense of Alan Marcina.
Well, they've kept Pickering and Baquero in the middle a couple times, whether they're going right or left. It's just a matter of getting down there and getting around that midfield area.
Duncan gets it back. And trying to work that right side. Hindman. Aerial duel forthcoming. San Antonio comes away with possession. Agudelo lays it back. And San Antonio now starting to press forward. And the foul. And another free kick opportunity for San Antonio.
See if Blanco takes. They may bring Hernandez back over to take the free kick. He's taken all the free kicks thus far tonight. A big playmaker for San Antonio this season. Out of Mexico. Leads the club with 7 assists. He can put it on the mark. They may end up going with Flores here. This will be the first free kick we've had on the opposite side of the pitch as well.
Blanco in his first season with San Antonio. But it will be Hernandez to take it. Knotted down. Memphis alleviates the pressure. Ward, he's out-dueled for it by Burks. And it'll be another Memphis foul. Another free kick opportunity for San Antonio.
Well, that prior free kick, he was looking for Kevin Lambert, the Jamaican, with a couple of goals this year. He leads the team in tackles and duels 1. So he wanted to try to get a one-on-one matchup. That free kick was a little bit shallow. He'll have another chance here to get it to Kevin Lambert. He's going to have a little discussion as he walks away.
Summer of Soccer continues on CBS. Surging Detroit City FC, led by first-year head coach Danny Dicchio, hosts newcomer Rhode Island FC with reigning USL Championship Player of the Year Albert Diqua. That's next Saturday, August the 3rd at 4 p.m. Eastern on the CBS network. It's the USL Summer of Soccer. Hernandez lofts it in. And had to be a foul there as Tristan Henry was taken to ground. The only other keeper that Memphis has in the 18 would be Tyler Derrick, and he's ailing as it is.
And Henry comes out that time on the free kick, little 50-50 ball up there, a duel. Wasn't able to grab it or really punch it. Got enough of deflection, but took one up high. Just came down hard on that left hip.
Lambert comes in and delivers a pretty good shot on Tristan Henry.
What do they say? Just get that first hit out of the way. Well, there's that first hit of the match of the season for him.
Well, you saw Caleb Patterson-Sewell, the acting sporting director for 901 FC. He had played in Canada, and so he was prime in the effort to get Tristan Henry in a Memphis uniform. Finally was able to work it through.
We do have a yellow. I'm not sure that came off the Memphis bench or not. Yeah, it did come off the Memphis bench.
Yeah, that's why you say Caleb Patterson-Sewell and Cariaga way heavy with that. There's Caleb Patterson-Sewell. Adding to the accumulation of yellow cards for 901 FC. Not shy about making his opinion felt. And now foul San Antonio.
66 now on the season, and to add to the team lead for Memphis 901 FC. But look, I mean, you talk about a team that'll play hard for you. If your coaching staff, if your support staff is going to fight for you, that spills over. Doesn't matter what sport you're playing, whether you're playing soccer, basketball, football, or whatever. If you're going to have your leadership go to battle for you, that translates a lot.
Lots of fouls, very few shots. Memphis with 2, San Antonio with 1. And the only shot by San Antonio was on frame, saved by Henry off the head of Chol. Cariaga, and now Ward. Ward plays it back to Henry as we near the half-hour mark.
Now Memphis has pushed up a couple times. No great opportunities thus far.
And now San Antonio. Turchi had to get that right. He did, but in so doing concedes the corner to San Antonio.
A dangerous counter opportunity that time for San Antonio, a team that struggles to score at times, Pete, in a road match that, look, they're probably not expected to win. That's where you can get some momentum early on. Just a quick mistake, counter opportunity, find yourself up 1-0.
San Antonio, they're 21st in shots on target. But off the set piece, outswinger, headed back, and San Antonio will have to recycle here. But this long ball played in. Henry able to take it in the air. And a quick distribution to Akeem Ward. Has Becerra on the left channel. Fernando running this down in the left channel. Looking to turn. Little 1v1. Crossing over again. The outlet to Ward. Hyndman. A little give and go intended for Hyndman. Hyndman gets back on it past Hawkinson. Best opportunity for Memphis so far. Hyndman back to Pickering. Pickering crosses over. Left-footed shot. That's blocked by Manley. And there's a shot at a goal! 901 FC gets the breakthrough from Samuel Cariaga.
Outstanding job by the team in general to keep recycling the ball onto the near side. Could have got frustrated, got turned away twice, including the block. It found the foot of Cariaga, but they kept the recycle on the left side. They kept the formation, stayed organized, finally pays off.
Cariaga, his 4th goal of the season, making his 8th start of the season. You see Emerson Hyndman there with the congratulations, but Emerson Hyndman was vital to that recycle, and it results in the goal for Cariaga.
Well, that whole possession started off, I thought, by some great patience by Luis Fernando. They hedged down on Fernando and kept him outside, didn't panic, didn't try to throw anything in the middle. Gets the quick little deflection there and whipped the left foot, found the back post. They had Cisniega playing up near post, trying to cut down the angle, but he left a lot open on the backside.
The original shot by Pickering was blocked by Carter Manley. It fell to Cariaga, and he goes side netting. Cisniega, no chance.
That's a tough spot to be put in as a keeper. You got to guard the near post to your right. But with the range that Cariaga had, he wasn't that far out. May have been 13, 14 yards out. Still leaves a lot open on the backside, as you saw.
Cariaga's 2nd season with Memphis. Last year, joined the club midway through the season. And he was a guy that when Stephen Glass would call on him predominantly as a substitute, he always delivered. But he delivers in a starting role tonight, and the home club up a goal just past the half-hour mark.
Well, he's a guy, look, he's kind of an under-the-radar guy. We talk about some of the other, like the Brazilian connection and some other guys like Pickering. And even though you don't have Borzak in the lineup, he's so active. But Cariaga just kind of under the radar with it. 4th goal on the year. He always seems to be right there in the mix.
Becerra wins the ball. Duncan going long. Fernando, too long a run for him. And then, whoa, that was an odd clearance by Tainter back to his keeper. Almost gave up a corner kick. And Memphis now with a little bit more pep in its step with the 1-goal lead. Cariaga near touchline. He's taken down. That will draw a whistle.
It's LaCava that got the back of him, made his debut back on June 5th out of New Milford, Connecticut. Yeah, they'll push. They'll try to keep you out there. But again, even though they play the 5 midfielders, I've been impressed outside the possession where they just conceded the goal with Manley, Tainer, and Burks. In fact, it was Tainer that was hedging Fernando out early in that possession.
Good idea there, but Hyndman could not get his boot to it. Well, folks, if you can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XM 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesdays at 8 o'clock Eastern with our good friend Mike Watts and Devin Kerr, plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Pete Pranica, Jeff Brightwell with you from AutoZone Park in downtown Memphis, Tennessee.
That's a cruel sport at some time, kind of cruel for San Antonio tonight. They did a fairly nice job within the first 30 minutes coming on the road. A team that at some point struggles to score goals. Had it probably right kind of where they wanted to, trying to get into the break with a scoreless match. And Memphis 9-1 finally got that opportunity on the recycle to get the goal. We'll see what Alan Marcina does. Now, having the three good defenders allows him to play five in the midfield. He doesn't have to play a 4-4-2. He's able to go 3-5-2. That gives you maybe a little bit more threat in the midfield area. Still, San Antonio, I think if they can go in down just 1-0, feel they are in decent shape.
Hyndman, great opportunity here. Baquero, tough angle near the byline. He crosses, back post, volleyed off the woodwork. Picked up by LaCava. Duncan able to win it back for Memphis and snuff out a potential San Antonio counterattack.
Well, what an opportunity you saw there. Like we talked about Baquero, what he can do scoring, but what about this setup right here? Not a lot of room to get it through, and on the backside one-timer just off of the post.
Hakeem Ward nearly doubled Memphis's lead. And now we're going to have a San Antonio card, I believe, and Hernandez and Duncan still talking with each other. Carson Von Steeg is down.
It's Agadello that looks like he's going to get the yellow. Look, that's your goal scorer. They can't afford to have him picking up yellows in this match. Agadello's a guy that's been beat on physically this year. Look, he had a lower body injury, came back in late June. He's a marked man as well.
And Bob Steeg, Langston Smith, the head athletic trainer, is going to be called out as we get another look at Ward. That caught the upright square.
Well, very fortunate for Cisniega. He was late getting back. And look, it wasn't going to be his fault. Baquero, you talk about putting on the doorstep. There wasn't a lot of room for him to thread the needle, and to be able to put it on the foot of Ward, pretty tremendous by Baquero. And thus far, Stephen Glass has to like what he sees out of his two newcomers.
Meanwhile, Hakeem Ward, Emerson Hyndman. As I said, Hyndman had played with Atlanta United, played for Stephen Glass there. Hyndman also played in the Scottish Premier League, so a lot of big-time experience for him as well. We'll tell you that you can tune into ESPN2 for USL Summer of Soccer Showdown. Last season's top two sides from the East and the West face off in an interconference clash, with perennial powerhouse Sacramento Republic FC hosting Pittsburgh Riverhounds. That's next Saturday at 11 o'clock Eastern.
Well, things starting to pick up for Memphis. Look, we saw the goal and the opportunity, a one-timer off the upright. Things starting to click now. You've got roughly 8 minutes. I'd imagine you're going to get 3 or 4 minutes of stoppage time here. There's ample time here for Memphis to get that critical second goal before the half ends.
And potentially put some more doubt in the mind of this San Antonio club that has struggled so mightily on the road. They are 1-7-1 on the road. Cariaga. Memphis winning it back. Quezada. Memphis getting forward. Fernando centrally taken down. And then Memphis will get the foul here, and it'll be a card. I believe Cariaga. Or I beg your pardon, Hakeem Ward.
Be interested to see if we get another look at that. But that was really enough to draw the odds. Unfortunately, you had the trip because you did have Baquero and Pickering. You had Baquero on the backside, Pickering going down the middle. It looked like that possession was going to set up really nice for Memphis.
Yeah, it's actually on Pickering. Get another look at the whole action. Fernando's taken down there. No issue with that. And that's a bit harsh.
Yeah. I mean, my assumption is he saw the left leg sweep across the front, but still not exactly malicious.
But Abdu Njai is our center official tonight. He's been put in a really difficult position because both these teams have been very, very physical. Fernando chips it, but no one to get on the end of it, and then cleared by Lambert. The Memphis retaining possession now in the 40th minute. A run, and a cross into the box. Baquero and Pickering were both there. Pops up high into the air with Cisniega, who's able to handle it for San Antonio.
Steven Glass really has like what he's seen the last 10 minutes. These offensive possessions are starting to come fast and furious now for 901 FC. And you're playing a lot more on the offensive third than a defensive third the last 10 minutes as well.
Ward with a long ball, but too long. Memphis, 11 touches in San Antonio's box. San Antonio just 1 in Memphis's 18-yard box. Again, there's the direct play by San Antonio. Turchi wins it in the air. Quezada puts it into open area, but Carroll lays it off. Memphis with a run opportunity here. Pickering wide on the left. Pickering cuts it back. Hyndman trying to get to his right foot. Ping pongs back to him. Duncan settles. Top of the area. A bigger part, Quezada. Through ball, Baquero. Back heel, one-time shot. That's blocked, and then the volley attempt by Cariaga is well over and out.
Yeah, pretty heel touch that time. Nothing came out of it, but again, another really nice offensive possession for 901 FC. And again, with so many switches tonight, still kind of had to find the spacing. Oh, pretty heel touch that time by Baquero. Actually just kind of rolled it off the bottom of the boot as well. Wasn't so much a heel kick, just rolled it off.
Yeah, Baquero has, you could say, plug and play, and he's been seamless tonight. He has he's been involved in this, and this will be a foul.
Guess they thought the foot came up a little too high that time on a dangerous attempt. San Antonio playing a few more back. They may have gone to 4 on the back. Now, when they go over the top, Pete, what I've seen so far tonight, Kevin Lambert's been the guy they've tried to mark and go over the top. He's got a lot of good sides. We've seen it on the set pieces. We've seen Hernandez try to get it to him. So we'll see if they continue to try to get it up top to Hernandez at times.
Just to put a finer point on San Antonio, they have lost their last 7 away matches. They have been outscored 8-1 in their last 4 away matches. They have struggled on the road. And for Alan Marcina, they had always been a really, really good road team. That's not been the case as of late.
Over the last 3 years, you've picked up 30 results for San Antonio. 21 of those where you get a win and you get 3 points out of it. And look, that's the difference. You can be a good team, get results at home, get some draws, split on the road, you can be a solid team. But the difference is in being an excellent team is getting the 3 points in the road.
Now Zach Duncan has been shown yellow.
But Duncan's a guy that's always physical. He's always in the middle of it. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. He's going to get in there and he's going to put his nose in there at every opportunity. Not one to hide it, not one to pull back. And that's Kevin Lambert. You can see the size difference as Duncan went up against him.
So you've got Ward and Duncan on yellows for Memphis. And 901 FC already without Marlin and A.B. Sissoko for red cards. They were issued in the last match. Agudelo, ball at his feet. And that's well played defensively by 901 FC as we approach the halftime whistle.
Godello probably had the right thought. However, Hawkinson didn't hold back, just zipped past him. Nobody home. They're fortunate right there. They do keep possession.
That'll be Hawkinson with the throw in for San Antonio. San Antonio second in the league in accurate crosses, and a lot of that is Hernandez, who has a league high 7 assists.
Good job by Ward to hedge down there. He tried to center it. He had Duncan right next to him. Ward kept that angle cut off.
Quick corner. Hawkinson going back post too far. Can't link up with Tainter. Now Tainter has it. Double mark near the touch line. And that'll be out for another San Antonio corner.
Well, try to go side to side that time. Nothing on the back end. They had Manley pushing up as well. Manley with a couple of goals.
And again, Hernandez is their designated trigger for set pieces. They went short with the corner from the other side of the pitch moments ago. Now in the 45th minute. Far post, headed centrally. Memphis not able to clear, and then an ill-advised attempt from distance that ends up about 8 rows into the grandstand by the Bluff City Mafia. 3 minutes minimum of stoppage time to be added to the first half.
No, he wanted the quick trigger from distance, but he had time maybe to let it settle down, maybe get a little bit sharper angle on that one, just way too much elevation.
Memphis has tried to play some Route 1 football here as well. They have not had much success with the long ball.
Well, the advantage you get sometime on the strike from distance, you're not always necessarily looking for the goal off the initial kick. You're looking to get that low angle, catch something glancing, keeper doesn't come up with it cleanly, get something on the carom. But both we've seen, the one from San Antonio and then the one early from Memphis, just way too much elevation. You at least have to keep that level with the crossbar.
Lambert dueling for it. Nice heel touch again by Baquero. There's a jersey hold, and Abdou-Ndiaye sees it and immediately issues a yellow for the professional foul.
That was a smart, as you mentioned, professional foul by Hawkinson. You could see it on the near side. Memphis is going to get a run. Look, I know you've got 6 switches, but we're used to seeing Marlin take off down there. Now you've got a few weapons up. You're not sure they're going to try to send it up top to Baquero, Pickering. We've seen Fernando be active up top tonight. They had 3 wide ahead of where the jersey hold was.
And Hindman immediately pleading his case, and Abdou-Ndiaye had eyes on it. Baquero going to the header, and that'll be out for a goal kick for Cisniega, who has conceded 13 goals now this season, including the 31st minute strike by Carriaga.
I think Baquero, I know he had a Hyman coming up to his left with his back toward the goal. You don't see the header off the back much of the outdoor game, but it's obvious, as you and I have seen tonight, Baquero has outstanding field vision.
Yeah, Baquero has outstanding skills, period. As you mentioned, won the Mac Herman Trophy, which is the award given to the top player in college soccer. Fantastic career at Wake Forest. Chol loses it. Took a little shoulder bump there for Carriaga. Memphis playing with a little chip on their shoulder. They want to show out for the home supporters tonight.
Well, fortunately, with the physicality of the game thus far, they just gave him the settle it down signal there. No other yellow came out because there's a little bit of an arm extension.
And there is your first half whistle. Comes exactly 3 minutes into added time here in the first half. Stephen Glass of 901 FC, after 3 straight on the road, they're happy to be home, and they're happy to be up a goal over San Antonio. To the changing rooms we go. Samuel Carriaga in the 31st minute with the only goal tonight. We go to halftime. We'll be back to AutoZone Park in a moment. Cariaga has the home club up a goal. Memphis 901 FC at home in AutoZone Park. A 1-0 lead over San Antonio FC, courtesy of Samuel Cariaga in the 31st minute. Pete Pranica, Jeff Brightwell. Jeff, we look at the upcoming schedule for 901 FC. Coming off a 3-game road trip, they're going to have 2 at home and against Western Conference teams that are below them in the table. El Paso Locomotive is here next Saturday night at 7:30. Then you've got Charleston Battery, which is one of the class teams in the league. Then you go at Miami. They're a club that's struggling. And FC Tulsa, you certainly owe them. And then a tough matchup. Again, another West Coast road trip to go out and take on the Oakland Roots. Right now, Memphis 1 point behind Oakland. Oakland currently sitting in third in the West.
The next 4 matches through the Tulsa match come out. You get 3. Say you get 3 results out of that. The Oakland and Colorado Springs road trip. They play at Colorado Springs right after Oakland. That could be the road trip August 24th and 28th that really goes a long way determining if you're going to get that top 4 spot. But you got to get there first. It's easy to say you've got 12, 12, and 10. There's 3 of your next 4, but you still have to get those results.
Yeah, Memphis, like I said, coming off a 3-game road trip, 2 at home, 2 on the road, then back home to FC Tulsa, and then they go back on the road. But Memphis, you look at the end of the schedule, 4 of their final 7 will be here at AutoZone Park. Tonight, the homecoming has been a good one for 901 FC. 1-0 the advantage over San Antonio FC. Back with more halftime in a moment.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes, only want the best. Running every night, won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
The best nights start with Jägermeister. Made with 56 botanicals. Always served ice cold.
Take a miracle to come back from this. Heartbreaking end to the season. But once
moments when anticipation
Clock's counting down. 5 seconds. 3, 2.
becomes celebration. Jägermeister. Meister the moment.
What a moment.
Through, touchdown by Rodriguez. Going for goal. It's Morris, and it's in! Detroit City's ahead.
A bit of space as well. He'll have a go from distance. Oh, what a goal!
When mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Downtown Memphis, Tennessee, 901 FC, a 1-0 advantage over San Antonio FC. Let's see what else is going on in the USL Championship. This summer of soccer, our national television schedule. Detroit City featured in a handful of matches. And you look at, I think, one of the big matches on this entire schedule, not only Detroit City and Pittsburgh Riverhounds, but also Louisville City and Sacramento Republic. Right now, Louisville City is just dominating.
And Sacramento City Republic has had just an outstanding season here, sitting at second on the table. They're just a result out of first place, so that matchup with Lou City is going to be great. A couple of second-place teams trying to get into first. And Pete, what can you say about, look, how far the USL Championship has come? Several years ago, getting the ESPN Plus contract. Now you go national through the CBS network. So it speaks highly of the growth of this league.
It's been a fantastic summer of soccer, and there's a whole lot more coming. Now, what's going on in the league itself? At Team of the Week, Zach Harivo. You talked about Rhode Island. Our old friend Mark Segber's there as well. Owen Lamb, who had a goal against the San Antonio club last week. And Lewis Hilton and that Tampa Bay Rowdy side, you can never, ever count them out. They are always a very solid club. Mark Briggs was the coach of the week for Sacramento Republic. Those are the highlights from the Team of the Week from Week 20 in the championship. Well, Sacramento Republic, Detroit City, 0-0. Oakland Roots beats Miami 2-1. Pittsburgh and Loudoun draw at 1. And Birmingham Legion, they're going to move up in the table. They would draw even with Indy 11 with that 3-0 victory over Orange County, or about to be victory in the 90th minute. Rhode Island continues to impress. They're 2-1 at the death there against North Carolina. Tampa Bay and Charleston. Charleston currently second in the East. The Rowdies are third in the East, separated by 5 points. And that one going down to the wire, Charleston and Tampa Bay.
Pete, you mentioned that Rhode Island club, an expansion club, playing. They're working on getting their stadium. They've had a lot of success so far this year. Eager to see how they translate into the second season as you take a look at the standings.
These are the Eastern Conference standings. Charleston, you see them at the top of the Eastern table. Actually, should be Louisville on top with their numbers are low. Charleston and Louisville City battling for the top spot right there. Birmingham Legion, they have a -6 goal differential, but they are still hanging in there. It is a very, very compact group, and you look at North Carolina and Pittsburgh with a bit of a down season this year. They are both below the playoff places, but you never want to count Bob Lilly and Pittsburgh out.
Well, it's bunched up. You both divisions a month ago had the top two teams separating. Now the West is a little bit more compact. Meanwhile, the East, as you mentioned, Louisville, Charleston, they've separated themselves. But still, you look anywhere from 10th and up, those teams still in play. You got 8 teams still vying for 6 spots.
Here in Memphis, it's 1-0 to the home club. We'll step aside, give you some highlights, some numbers, tell you a little bit more about the first half, and preview the second half as Dylan Borzak takes in the action here at AutoZone Park. Memphis 901 FC with the advantage, 1-0 over San Antonio FC. Samuel Carriaga in the 31st minute. Let's take a look at some first half highlights. Memphis really dominating, getting into the San Antonio area. That's the only opportunity really that San Antonio has had, as Machop Chol got it on frame in an early test for Tristan Henry, which he passed. A lot of opportunities also off of set pieces. LaCava with the left-footed strike. That was probably going wide anyway. One of the few corners for Memphis tonight, but a lot of set piece opportunities for San Antonio. There was the big collision. Caleb Patterson-Sewell coming off the Memphis bench, protesting, got a yellow card out of it. This was the great move that you talked about by Baquero, and if Akeem Ward puts this away, Memphis is flying with a 2-goal lead.
Well, he had him out of position. What a pretty feed there. Here's the recycle. Memphis stayed patient. Third time they went around the loop on the left side before Carriaga is able to put it on that back 90.
Initial shot blocked. Hawkinson goes to ground, and Carriaga zips it right over his head into the side netting. Our only goal of the game. Samuel Carriaga, the Argentinian, with his 4th goal of the season to bring us to the 1-0 scoreline. Possession has been pretty even. Offensively, though, Memphis has been more dangerous with 7 shots to just 1 for San Antonio. Corners, a 4-1 advantage to San Antonio. 20 fouls already in this game, 12 conceded by Memphis. And Jeff, we anticipated a physical game. That's exactly what we've got.
Absolutely. 20 fouls so far in this match. Several yellows thus far. First 30 minutes of the match, I think San Antonio had what they wanted. Game being played in the middle of third, they were able to push up. Last 15 minutes, though, Memphis with the 6 switches began to kind of figure each other out. We've seen Tristan good in the net. Baquero, we have seen early on what he's going to bring to this club.
There was one 30-minute stretch in the first half where San Antonio did not get a shot.
Right.
Meanwhile, Memphis has been really good when they have scored first. They're unbeaten in their last 6 when leading at halftime. 5 wins and a draw. Meanwhile, San Antonio, they are 0-3-1 when they trail at halftime this season. And there's Carriaga, the man who signed an 18-month loan deal. And in his 2nd season with Memphis, getting the home club out to a 1-0 lead. The question, I guess, is can San Antonio get the ball to Agudelo, who only had 7 touches in the entirety of the first half?
Yeah, we only caught Agadelo's name once in the opening half. The person I'm going to be watching for, I mentioned him a couple times in the first half, is going to be Kevin Lambert, the Jamaican, with a couple of goals. And he's going to be a physical guy. He can win duels when he gets out one-on-one. 122 duels rolled, 1 this year. But when Hernandez has taken the free kick, he's been looking for Lambert. He's got good size, both physically and the height. But you got to get down in that attacking third if you're going to find him.
Yeah, Memphis has dominated the action in the final third. Here's Baquero. Baquero being signed recently. Memphis dealing with injuries and red card suspensions. Duncan trying to hit Fernando along the near sideline. No Sissoko, no Marlin for Memphis tonight due to injury, due to red card suspension, I beg your pardon. Dylan Borzak also unavailable for selection. Tyler Derrick, the regular keeper who has started the previous 20 matches, is in the 18, but he's been dealing with some injury issues, and so that's why Tristan Henry, who was signed just a few days ago, is in the sticks for Memphis. San Antonio playing directly. Turchi concedes the corner. So Reese Buckmaster, it looks like, has come on. Buckmaster, a former 901 FC player. Memphis struggling to get this cleared, and they do so. Long ball, long run for Pickering. Pickering can't win the duel. He's walled off.
Now, Memphis had the numbers back there on the defensive third in their own 18. They're just bunched up too much and nearly able to get it to Pickering, able to get clearance and get a little bit of a run over the top. Not a particularly hot night here in Memphis for this time of the year, but we mentioned the humidity, but I think probably Alan Marcino also just trying to get a little bit of a different look out there of these early subs in the second half.
This is Hernandez. Lays it back to Tainter. To the top of the 18. And well cleared by Memphis. And we get a whistle and a foul in the action. It's a San Antonio foul. And Tristan Henry will come out to play. Luis Solignac and Reese Buckmaster into the match for San Antonio. Solignac wearing the number 19 shirt, second season with San Antonio, his second stint with the club. Lambert trying to move through, can't. Duncan is run off, and San Antonio pleading for offside. It'll be a goal kick. Duncan can't believe it.
Memphis had the numbers. They had Baguero, they had Hyman in there, they had Fernando all going inside the 18.
And yet another whistle.
Now, right now, early in the second half, we're just having a little bit of trouble finding a rhythm to this game with the fouls. Boy, Memphis would like to get this game to flow a little bit. Look for an early second goal. First 15 minutes, if you're able to get that second goal, is going to be huge for 901 FC.
But it's another free kick opportunity. Blanco sending it in with the head. Ball is loose. Drops freely. LaCava could not get his boot on it.
That was a dangerous situation for Memphis. Memphis fortunate, though, that Tristan came up and grabbed it.
And now another whistle. So Tristan Henry alerting our referee that Turchi is back and down ailing.
Well, that may be where San Antonio makes their money tonight. If they're able to put a goal on the board tonight, is to get things just congested in there, get the ball moving around inside the 18, find something, some sort of deflection in the net inside traffic. They weren't able to mark Kevin Lambert that time, nor were they able to find Agudelo. And again, as you mentioned, he's been pretty quiet tonight.
You also mentioned that Burra is on. Carter Manley is out for San Antonio. Big collision, two players down, and a San Antonio foul. Reese Buckmaster is down. It's Buckmaster and Akeem Ward. Buckmaster comes in with the challenge. Big collision. Buckmaster transferred this season from Hartford. Of course, he had two separate stints with Memphis 901 FC, so he knows this pitch, he knows this building well. Unhappy with the decision by Abdu Njai. Buckmaster, part of that great soccer tradition at the University of Indiana.
Good to see both come out. That's a pretty violent collision there. I don't think anything malicious out of it. They went hip to hip going for that ball in that 50-50 duel.
Couple of aerial duels, and it's settled by Hernandez. Pickering does a great job to win it. Baquero, central ball, tipped forward by Duncan, but no connection available to him there. This is Blanco. Blanco marked by Quezada. A little soft with that touch. A nice step in front and a takeaway by Akeem Ward.
Memphis being patient on that back line, trying to go to organize. It looks like they're going to give it up there at midfield. Foul's going to end up going against San Antonio. So it'll be a nice opportunity. Free kick here. See if they go to the near side of the pitch this time. That last possession when Memphis got dispossessed, they had Quezada coming to the right side who was open. They opted to stay on the far side of the field. Another big jersey pull that time by Lambert.
Baquero along the far touchline.
There's Quezada on the near side, and they're able to locate him.
Ward chips it. Duncan lays it back. And a Memphis foul in the area. Got a little congested in there as you get a good look at John Baquero. 27-year-old Spaniard. Was originally drafted by the Chicago Fire of MLS.
He got caught down there in the box with the Burrow. Tied him up.
And a Memphis foul and another free kick opportunity for San Antonio. And if you're a Memphis supporter, you have to worry just a little bit that all these set piece opportunities keeps that door open for San Antonio. They've not been able to generate much off of open play. So set piece may be their best chance for offense tonight.
Well, and Hernandez with 7 assists. He's going to be your playmaker. Again, he's going to take all the free kicks. Both teams determined not to give up any kind of run. And you're just going to see the fouls, I think, really compound here in the second half. This is where a goal is going to come, I think, in the second half for either side.
Swung in. A run-up opportunity missed by Blanco. Run down by Hernandez. He tries to cross over, and another Memphis foul. Another free kick opportunity in a dangerous area for San Antonio. Some of their supporter group, the Crocketeers, have made the trip up from San Antonio, and they're hopeful that San Antonio finds an equalizer here. They'll have another opportunity. Ward got the block of the Blanco shot.
But always that Tennessee-Texas connection with Davy Crockett and his crew headed to the Alamo. Good to see. That's good for the league. You find your supporters able to go on the road. You see the Bluff City Mafia travel often, and that's good for the league.
57th minute. In swinger, and Henry takes command of it.
Henry aggressive. He had 2 coming to his right side that got around him. 1 marked in front. So made a smart decision. Comes in, cuts down the angle, doesn't allow anything, takes it out of the air. That's difficult. Look, you're in your first start with a brand new club. I don't care what level of player you are. You're still learning tendencies of the guys in front of you. Do I need to be aggressive tonight? Do I need to lay back? How do I need to play between the pipes?
And the physical nature of this game has resulted in it being a stop and start, mostly stop affair. Fernando settles it. Peels it back for Cariaga. Difficult ball, but it's out of play. Thought it might have stayed in, but it did not. Let's just quickly recap the changes for San Antonio. Manley, LaCava, and Chol are out. Buckmaster, Solignac, and Burra are in. Memphis has not made any changes. They're dealing with a shortage of options. Marlin tied with Bruno Lapa for the team leadership with 7 goals. He's not available. Red card suspension. Hawkinson with the run. And Duncan, nifty bit of work to win it back from Memphis, but his pass intercepted. Through ball here, cut back by Agudelo, but Memphis has done a good job of erasing him from the chessboard. That's too far for Hindman. Tainter runs it down for San Antonio, nearing the hour mark. Memphis with possession here. Can they build something off it? And they immediately give it away.
Well, Memphis has had a tough time garnering possession here in the first 14 minutes of the second half. Dangerous situation.
And Lucas Turchi had to get that absolutely right because Solignac was closing, and it would have been 1v1 against the keeper. But Turchi wanted in the air, headed it back to his keeper. Fernando not giving up on this play, and that'll be out for a Memphis throw-in.
It's a great opportunity created. Fernando, a lot of acceleration there at the end, a little jawing at the end.
Noe Meza will come on for Memphis, and Carson Baumstieg will come out.
Well, you mentioned the switches tonight, and whether it's injuries or suspensions, you could be a little thin on the bench tonight as you see Meza come in. I guess you look at a Seager, a Paul, a Jimenez, a Lapa, but not the depth that you usually have over there. And a lot of the guys that usually are providing the depth, like Cariaga getting the start tonight, comes through huge.
Meza with the throw in. Vaquero. And it went out, so it'll be a goal kick. You saw Baumstieg. He took a knock in that first half, and it just, his stride just seemed to be a little off. So it might have been tactical. It also might have been, if Baumstieg is hurting, to get him off the pitch.
That's a play where he went down on his hip. Sometimes that's not. You get a pointer, it gets stiff. As you mentioned, tough to get your stride back. You just don't have the mobility that you had.
This will be out for a San Antonio throw in. Big battle there with Agudelo, and he will draw the foul. As we tell you, eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play, so download it now.
Well, they're trying. Look, he didn't get a lot of touches in the first half, but they're doing everything they can to get Agudelo involved in this game. Again, we talked about 7 goals, a couple of assists. He's been banged up a little bit this year. Came back June 29th. Made his initial debut back on March 9th against Loudoun. He has 10 chances created. He's had 28 shots. Not a lot of one-on-one opportunities for him. Just 11 duels for him this season. But they're trying to find him here in the second half.
And a Memphis foul. John Vaquero not really thrilled with that.
He's just not able to get a lot of open space.
Lambert with the restart. Fernando clears. Vaquero trying to, but has that deflected. Now picked up by Hernandez. Hernandez trying to get it through to Agudelo. And Memphis does a good job of alleviating the pressure. But San Antonio, Jeff, much as they did in the first half, the first quarter hour, they were putting a lot of pressure on. and now the first quarter hour of the second half. They're putting on a lot of pressure. Turchi gets that one away from danger. Pickering back. Now Ward.
Well, they had the initial push, as you mentioned, in the first 15. That middle 15, it settled down, and then you could see maybe if it was fatigue or attrition really set in final 15 of the first half. If Memphis can play through here in the middle third of this second half, maybe looking for that second goal in the final 15. We talked early on, early in games for a first 15, back 15. That's where Memphis has really been successful this season.
Best bit of possession for Memphis here, but heavy with that last touch. Throw in, quick start. Oh, and a save. And then Cariaga is able to sweep it out of danger. Pickering trying to mount a counterattack, but he is stymied. Memphis, off the quick throw in by San Antonio, nearly gave up an equalizer.
Slignac got that back in. I believe it was Agadello who came through sliding down the middle. Another good job, though, by the newcomer, Tristan Henry.
Hawkinson, I believe, got the touch on it.
A smart play, though, by Slignac to get that quick throw in. They didn't whistle it, didn't make him take it back, didn't make him take him time. Look, you're trying to get this result on the road, take any advantage you can get.
San Antonio dropping a 2-0 decision at Orange County last weekend. Memphis losing 1-0 at Tulsa. Memphis currently fourth in the West, but only 1 point behind Oakland Roots. Meanwhile, quick check of the scores. Tampa Bay, they are in added time. And Tampa Bay with a 3-2 lead over Charleston at Al Lang Stadium. Louisville City, a 3-1 lead over Monterey Bay in the 81st minute. Here, 1-0 to Memphis. Cariaga in the 31st minute. Ward trying to get it through. Ward, ball loose, and Cisniega slipped, lost his footing. Memphis not able to take advantage. Backfield by Solignac. And Turchi. A sprint by Hawkinson, and Turchi sends it out of play. San Antonio a throw in here in minute 66.
Good job by Turchi. Just headed it in the corner, then got it out of bounds. Get it out of the middle. That was a dangerous ball. They got past Turchi. It's 1-on-1 to the net.
Fernando won that in the air, but still San Antonio with possession. Blanco sends it into the area, headed on goal, handled easily on the bounce by Henry.
A routine pickup that time by Henry, but San Antonio really starting to press here in the middle 15. And I think defensively what they've done has been outstanding in the second half. You mentioned there's probably been a lot more stop than start from Memphis in the second half. They're not allowing Memphis to get any run. They're bearing down on the quick double teams. First guy that touches the ball, not allowing the pass. Memphis has had some room on the off-ball side of the pitch, but San Antonio's not allowed Memphis to get it to go over there and open up space.
Possession is basically a 50-50 game right now. A layoff here for Hernandez. Memphis won it, but only momentarily. Blanco, now Hernandez. Hernandez, one of the leading chance creators in the league. However, San Antonio turns it over.
Good slide tackle by Meza that time.
Hyman playing it back to Akeem Ward, wearing the captain's armband tonight. Dangerous pass, nearly came to issue for Memphis. It's out for San Antonio to throw in.
Well, it's going to be difficult to see tonight with as many players that are out for Stephen Glass. Usually you can kind of count on numbers bearing out because he's built up some depth. He's had some guys off the bench come in that had to pick up the starts thus far this season, but you don't have quite as many numbers. So we'll see if that bears out here over the last 23, 24 minutes.
Yeah, the bench options not plentiful for Stephen Glass. Duncan starting a run. He's taken down and will have a card.
Well, looks like Tainer's going to pick it up out of Storrs, Connecticut. Had 115 appearances. He's a guy that's been around for a long time for San Antonio. He's got the record with 115 appearances. Anchors that back line with Burks and Manley. Manley, though, out right now.
Tanker is their captain. He was unanimously voted to that post and really goes hard on that slide tackle. And Zach Duncan needed a moment. Duncan himself is sitting on a yellow.
They don't want to rack up the yellows, but they're going to be pretty content, Pete, on taking the fouls right now. Anything to stop the flow, anything to stop a run, stop momentum. That was developing pretty well up the middle for 901. They had a little room to the right side, but they had some room right down the middle. Right now, you're just going to put a body on somebody if you're San Antonio.
No officially sanctioned hydration breaks. But Memphis is going to take advantage anyway.
Take it when you can get it.
Exactly. It is extremely humid, as it always is here in Memphis in the summer. As we tell you, the USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL television listings.
Well, you mentioned we caught a break. 77 degree. Look, we don't get a lot of 77-degree nights in late July in Memphis, but you mentioned 86% still humidity this evening. And it's not so much the heat sometimes that gets the cramping. The humidity at 86% is just sucking the moisture out of your body.
Stephen Glass has broken his sweat just pacing the sidelines.
They've issued him a yellow as well. That's the second one on the bench tonight.
Pickering trying to move forward, cannot, dispossessed. Hernandez on the pickup. So both coaches for 901 FC have been shown a yellow card tonight.
So you mentioned physical and hotly contested, Pete. That's 5 on the players, 2 on the bench. You get 7 total yellows. We still have 20-plus minutes.
Meza battling for it on the near touchline. Fernando starts his run. Starts to curl in. Fernando crossing. Back post. No one to get on the end of it. Pickering runs it down. And Pickering's attempt from distance well off the mark.
So that one high didn't get settled down enough. That's one of the better crosses Memphis had developed to begin with. Memphis has not had a lot of opportunities to cross it, to clear it into the middle part, at least into the middle third of the attacking portion of the field tonight. The defenders for San Antonio do a nice job of carrying you wide, not letting you turn the corner, and when they've had to match up one-on-one of duels, just not allowing that inlet pass.
In the first half, Memphis dominated final third entries, touches in the opponent's box. San Antonio hasn't gotten quite level there, but they're getting close.
Not a hard foul, but a foul nonetheless.
Long by Blanco. Goal kick for Tristan Henry.
Too strong on it, but he had 2 coming from the backside.
And the new signee has come on now for San Antonio. Sofiane Jaffo, the Frenchman, had been playing with Orange County. Had a goal to his credit there. Also spent time with Austin FC. Was originally drafted out of Oregon State by DC United.
He's had some good experience, so bring it to them. So you're starting to see a lot of clubs, not just Memphis, get those Mid to late season signees, they become available, try to push you up. Of course, San Antonio a little bit more dire situation than Memphis. Memphis trying to stay in that top 4, maybe make a run at the 2 seed. San Antonio trying to get above that playoff line.
Yeah, San Antonio is in 11th with 20 points. The playoff line currently stands at 26. So not out of the conversation by any stretch. That shot is blocked by a teammate. And then Memphis able to clear.
San Antonio still pounding away here in the last 17 minutes. Like this is something we didn't see in the first half. A lot of possession in the attacking third for San Antonio, but they're still getting opportunities, moving up. Maybe not great opportunities, but from distance. They're shooting anywhere from 18 to 25 yards out and still pounding away.
And Memphis has gone about 30 minutes now without a shot.
Well, at the half, it was a 7-1 shot advantage. Since then, it's been 4-1 in favor of San Antonio.
I think Zach Duncan behind the play. No, he's back on his feet.
And those shots don't count the ones they've sent in maybe high and wide from distance tonight.
It is humid and cramping is part of the run of play tonight. Langston Smith, the head athletic trainer, is going to run out. A little bit of a break here, but this is really got to be nervous if you're 9-0 NFC. San Antonio has had the better of the run of play here through the second half.
I believe they're going to get him out of there. They've signaled over to the bench. You got someone making their way over there, and they're just cramping up maybe a little too much right now.
Quezada.
And the moves, unfortunately, you don't want to make being shorthanded, but it looks like Oscar Jimenez is going to make his way in.
So Jimenez is in his 15th match appearance. And Quezada to the bench.
Gave you some solid minutes tonight. That's a guy that usually comes off the bench, gets the start tonight. Gave you 75.
Jimenez in his first season with Memphis. Memphis was very happy to sign him. A lot of championship experience with Louisville City. But here comes San Antonio. Memphis wins it back. And now is there a counterattack here? Memphis starting a run. Meza wants it on the far side, but no chance to get it to him. San Antonio picking up their defensive pressure. Chested down by Pickering. Knight back heels it, but there's nobody there. Picked off by Burra. Final quarter hour is upon us. San Antonio looking for just their third road result. Only one win and one draw in 9 road matches. And it's out for a San Antonio throw-in.
I don't know that offensive possession. Knight thought someone was coming up from the back, or there was a stumble as he went into the sided area of the pitch. Had some room in front. But again, here's San Antonio kind of pegging away.
Battle at the byline. Chipped back post. Blanco could not get his head on it. And again, Memphis ducking and dodging. And for the moment, maintaining a 1-goal lead. Buckmaster lost his footing, but sends it wide to Agudelo. Agudelo against Ward. Lays it back. Sent in. Turchi heads it away.
Ted Lambert up there about 8 yards high of Henry. Called his name a lot in the first half. He's been a little quiet in the second. But he's one they targeted up top at a lot of those Hernandez free kicks in the first half.
Memphis unable to clear until that moment. And that will not remain in play. It'll be a San Antonio throw-in.
Right now, that's all you want. At that point, with San Antonio kind of pounding away at net inside the 18, can't be too particular at times about the pass up. They just needed a deep, deep clearance. Try to get reorganized.
Memphis has never won against San Antonio. They are 0-3 all time, including a 1-0 loss in San Antonio earlier this year.
It's going to be the 19th foul tonight on Memphis, so seen 32 total fouls in this match.
And we had talked about it before the broadcast, the need for discipline on the part of 901 FC.
There's a look at what Memphis has ahead. They can move up one spot tonight. They can pull it within a point of Sacramento. But that's the fine line Stephen Glass's club has to ride. You don't want to pull the reins on the aggressiveness. So you just kind of have to take the good with the bad sometime. You also have to pick your spots here late in the match.
Off the free kick, lots of numbers forward for San Antonio, but a glancing header will result in a goal kick for Tristan Henry.
Not bad on the free kick on the near side. Had 4 wide, clamping down, just couldn't get the connection they needed. Here's Lambert again. Again, Lambert, good size. Hernandez looked for him in the first half several times in the first 15.
Oh, and now Henry is down. Is he cramping in goal?
Well, didn't really see any heavy contacts. That would be my guess.
And Abdu Njai is like, well, this can't be time wasting. And Henry's like, look, I need medical attention.
So the second time we've had a lengthy stoppage here due to cramping. And so much stop-start. We're going to have probably a good chunk, Pete, 4 or 5, maybe 5+ minutes of added time at the end of this thing.
Quezada was cramping and was substituted for. And Henry is now receiving some fluids and some stretching. He's been called upon to do a little bit. He's made 4 saves tonight, all on shots inside the box.
You had the one-timer on the header to start the match. Then the LaCava, really nice strike on the near post he dove for in the first half. But I think he's got what he needed out in front of him between Baumsteig and Turchi and Ward and Noriega. Some guys playing at times along the back line. They've given him good protection. He's made some nice saves, but he's not been asked to make the highlight save tonight. Now, still got plenty of time to go.
Yeah, as you point out, 10 minutes on the clock, but probably an added 5 or 6 because of the injuries. That ball intended for Pickering, but intercepted. This is Blanco. And now Lambert.
Got another down on the field, just off the screen to the left. Another one for 901 FC. I'm not sure if there was contact or a cramp.
And that's Turchi.
Yeah.
Turchi has had a real solid match with some crucial clearances on the back line for 901 FC. And of course, San Antonio is pleading their case that Memphis is time wasting.
Well, it's not as apt
which doesn't hold much.
Yeah,
water.
they're not going to lose the time.
They're not going to lose the time.
At first, I thought he was pleading that Jeffel, who had just come in several minutes ago, maybe had made contact, but I think it's cramp up in that quad or that thigh or the high hamstring. And that's exactly where they're working above the knee. For what they'll contend, it's not so much a losing time as they're disrupting the flow of the match right now, which, let's be frank, San Antonio, even though they're not getting big runs, they're getting possession in the attacking third. Been a few nervous times here for Memphis the last 15.
Well, and again, because Memphis just doesn't have much in reserve. And Langston Smith with the magic spray. Pickering is able to keep it in play. Pickering flares it out, leading Hyndman. Emerson Hyndman. Hyndman trying to extricate himself. Nice layoff. A drive into the box. Cross is messed up and intercepted by San Antonio.
I think he tried to make the turn. He had Baquero standing 12 yards high. I think he was just trying to get one more step, and he would have had Baquero wide open for a one-timer. But if you notice Baquero on that possession, Pete, look, he's making his debut. Those steps becoming heavy now for Baquero here in the last 15 minutes. No one's gliding around like they were when the match started.
No. And those shirts are getting a lot heavier with perspiration. And a collision and some harsh words. Turchi pleading his case. Agudelo, he wants to have his word or two.
Agudelo may be a little frustrated. Memphis did a nice job again to mark him pretty well tonight.
7 goals and 2 assists for Juan Agudelo, the Colombian, in his first season with San Antonio after a couple with Birmingham Legion. But a throw in for San Antonio here. That's chipped in nicely. Pickering with the head sends it out. Tainter. And now Blanco. Blanco tried for the cross. It's cleared well out of play.
Didn't get quite as much as he wanted that, trying to cross it. Nice job by 901 FC.
Quick throw in. Pickering able to pickpocket. Jimenez. This is Emerson Hyndman. Cariaga, his goal in the 31st minute. All we have on the board. And another throw in for San Antonio.
Going back to that attempted cross, that was Fernandez that got a piece on it. Now Fernandez, he's good enough to play line to line. You saw him creeping up there in midfield. They can keep it on that side of the field. You can get a Fernando racing down the right side.
Blanco. Now going forward, Hernandez. Centrally intended for Salignac. And now a dangerous collision in the box. It'll be a corner kick for San Antonio.
Yeah, they poked it over. Started out nice. Memphis putting a body on them. Getting that shot deflected wide to the left of Henry. Not a bad feed, though. No result for San Antonio. But as you mentioned, the set piece could be the dangerous part. Let's see. Yep, popped it right over the head of Ward. Ward did a nice job to recover there and get the leg up.
San Antonio only 1 goal in their last 4 away matches. Looking for an equalizer. And it'll be out for another corner kick.
Not sure if Hernandez plant foot slipped a little bit, or he's just trying to cut the angle.
And Reese Buckmaster is ailing. He was involved in a big collision earlier here in the second half.
I believe he's the one that collided with Duncan, if I'm correct on that one. Ooh, and he is trying to walk it out, but it's difficult. I'm not sure to get caught in the angle or if this is a cramp.
Now the way he's not able to put pressure on that right foot.
Well, you reach down toward the ankle.
Right there.
Yeah, that's that collision.
Yep. And immediately it'll be Shannon Gomez coming in, and Buckmaster goes out. So Reese's return to Memphis, very unpleasant. Another corner. San Antonio, in-swinger, back post, headed, punched out. It was off the head of Tainter. Ball high in the air, San Antonio possessing. Into the area. Duncan trying to get to it. He does. Plays it forward. Pickering. Pickering in open area and a professional foul in the center circle. And a card.
Well, that's going to be the third one.
Lambert.
Fourth one coming up on San Antonio. I think Pickering was just going to spin around and try to get organized. I don't think he was going to really try to make the run on his own. But what a save by Tristan Henry that started that whole run.
Henry with the punch out.
It's a big save we said that he may need in the last 10 minutes. Look, not that his earlier saves weren't nice, but they've been rather pedestrian as compared to that one.
So rising to meet the moment deep into this match. Less than a minute and a half by the clock, but there's going to be significant added time. We've had numerous players cramp. We've had several cards, no scoring here in the second half. San Antonio desperate for 3 points. Memphis trying to protect their home ground. And now a takeaway. Agudelo lays it back for Blanco. Blanco with the outlet. Intended for Hernandez. Duncan battling for it. Fernando winning it. And Duncan with the deep clearance to peel some more time off the clock.
Smart play that time by Duncan. Like you're shorthanded, you're not going to have a chance really to get a run. Just get it out of the defensive third.
And another whistle and stoppage and a conversation with our center official, Abdou Njai, who has had a full night of work tonight.
8 total yellow cards, 6 on the field, 2 on the bench.
And overall, Jeff, I think he's done a good job with the
match. He's done as much as he can to control the match. Nothing's broken out. He's got the early yellow card when he's needed to. He's not letting it really progress tonight. You take a look at the numbers. Like he's dealt in a game that's featured 33 fouls. And really, even with the yellow cards, Pete, I don't think there's anything overly malicious tonight. Look, the two teams playing pretty hard. We've seen some pretty tough contact tonight, but nothing obviously over the top. We've not seen anyone draw a red.
Memphis trying to earn 3 points. A 2-match homestand. They've got El Paso Locomotive coming in next Saturday night. For San Antonio, they're battling to try to work their way back into the playoff places. Meza across the face of goal in 7 minutes of added time.
It's about probably what we expected, 5 to 7 minutes of stoppage time. This is really where it gets tough if you're 9-01 playing shorthanded tonight.
Shorthanded, deep in this, trying to protect the lead.
And that's a reason you're seeing the way the second half's developed. 9-1 FC is not a team that, packs it back and plays for clearances most nights.
Headed, cleared. Duncan got a boot on it. Held by Tainter. I beg your pardon, by Burks. Great defensive work by Hindman. Plays the ball into space. No blue shirt anywhere near it.
Well, it's a credit to Stephen Glass's club having to play a little bit different than you usually do in the second half, especially late in the ball game. Not always easy to not be the aggressor and have to maintain your shape and stay disciplined.
Opportunity here. The shot is deflected. It'll be another corner kick for San Antonio.
Well, here's the portion of the match with 7 minutes stoppage time. You got around 5 left, where for one team in San Antonio, the clock's racing. Meanwhile, for 901 FC, seems that it's on slow-mo.
In swinger, back post, headed, Tainter. Headed again by Tainter. Fernando trying to clear it, and Pickering is able to get it out to the halfway line. 8th corner, I believe, for San Antonio tonight. That's blocked by Jimenez off the boot of Gomez.
Cisniega will continue now to press up just a little bit.
Oh, dangerous play there in a collision, and it will be a San Antonio foul. Tristan Henry being brave for the second time tonight to play a ball well off his line and absorbing some significant contact.
It's been fun to watch. You know, Tristan Henry, you're so used to watching Derek, and he's such an aggressive keeper who will race out, cut down angles, take balls away from, you know, attackers like that. When Henry, a little bit more between the pipes, so he's come out when he's needed to tonight, and that was the situation. If he lays back, probably bad things happen for 901.
Memphis gets the handball call.
Well, Memphis takes their time here on the free kick now. Now you're getting into the back part of the 7 minutes. You got about 3 or so minutes remaining in the match.
Fernando, quick start. Duncan. No foul. You heard one of the 901 FC supporters, apparently near one of our field microphones, disbelieving the lack of a decision there, or the decision that didn't go Memphis' way. Anyway, Hindman trying to run this down. Back to Cisniega.
And Duncan trying to take that drop step, and when he spun off to his right, contact was made.
About 2.5 remaining. These are the nervous moments if you're the home side. Anxious moments for San Antonio as well.
Now, what concerns you? You've done such a nice job on Agudelo tonight, but he's the type of player, we see it with Marlon for Memphis. You can mark him all night. It takes one play to get him loose.
Tainter. Blanco sends it in, headed, and punched over the bar. A sensational save by Tristan Henry to preserve the 1-goal Memphis lead.
Where's the highlight save? A save that Memphis may need in the latter 5 to 10 minutes. Huge going toward the upper 90. Look, he punched one away 10 minutes ago. That time he gets it lunging to his right.
Hernandez with the corner. Far post, headed. Meza got a boot on it. And then finally a clearance. Cariaga chasing after it. But here is the save of the game by Tristan Henry.
And Pete, I'm not sure if that was a header or he got off the back shoulder on the deflection. Regardless, tremendous save.
Aaron Seeger, the reserve keeper, is going to come on as a field player. He'll replace Baquero. That is how shorthanded Memphis is tonight.
Now, Baquero making his debut. You got 97 minutes at him. As I mentioned about 15 minutes ago, you could tell just the steps are really getting heavy. Like, not a lot of minutes to play if you've been with the team all season, much less if you're making your debut.
Henry. Be a throw in for San Antonio. Cannot be much left. There's Seeger chasing around. Header won by Meza. Anything left for San Antonio? Hindman wins it for Memphis. Header by Tainter. Hernandez. We have exceeded the 7 minutes. Sent into the area. Loose. Not quite cleared. No penalty awarded to San Antonio. Memphis calling for a handball. The assistant referee says it is Memphis's ball.
Well, my assumptions, they were going to give them that offensive possession and be done with it.
Alan Marcina not happy with how this has all played out. Now more than a minute past the announced stoppage time. Pickering sends it on goal. One last desperate attempt by San Antonio. Blanco sends it into the area. Sent aside by Turchi. Turchi again. San Antonio plays it back. Headed on. Henry cradles it. And my word, there can't be much left in this.
Well, the possession before, I thought they were going to afford them that final opportunity. And now Memphis again survives another 90-plus seconds here.
And there is the final whistle. Full time sounded here in Memphis, and 901 FC survives an aggressive assault by San Antonio to take a 1-0 victory over San Antonio. For the first time in club history, Memphis has grabbed all 3 points from San Antonio on a night where Memphis had 2 key players on red card suspension, started a keeper making his first appearance for Memphis, started John Vaquero in his first appearance for Memphis, and the road woes for Alan Marcina and San Antonio continue. 1-0 the final. Samuel Carriaga in the 31st minute. That's all the scoring we had tonight. And Tristan Henry gets the clean sheet for the home club. It was not easy. It took a tremendous amount of effort and grit. And one of the things, Jeff, that Stephen Glass has said about this team, their spirit, their fight, their willingness to win, I think really served them well tonight on a night when they didn't have Marlon. They didn't have Sissoko. They didn't have Dylan Borzak. They actually had to bring on their backup keeper, Aaron Seeger, to actually play in the field. That's how short they were tonight. Shots ended up being even. San Antonio 5 on target. So a 5-save night for Tristan Henry and a clean sheet and a 9-1 edge in corners for San Antonio. We talked about it. That was going to be, if there was to be a San Antonio goal, it probably would come off a set piece because goodness knows they had tons of opportunities.
Well, good job by San Antonio in the second half. Look, they're outshot 7-1 in the first half. They come back, they outshoot Memphis 7-1. Memphis had to change their style a little bit in the second half. They're an aggressive team that wants to push up high. They had to kind of, I wouldn't say pack it back in, but play a little bit on their back kill. I thought it showed excellent discipline for them to stay back there, keep their discipline, continue to space out. And what about Tristan Henry? Made some, compared to his last 2 saves, rather pedestrian saves, but comes up with a couple of highlight saves, one in the last 2 minutes in stoppage time. And look, you can see the carnage when the final whistle was blown playing short-handed. How many players tonight cramped up for Memphis? How many down sitting after the match? They've had the chance to recover. They'll enjoy this one tonight. This is one of your better wins of the season just due to the fact that you had to go through it with, you know, a lot of stuff going against you this evening.
Memphis gets its 9th victory of the season, courtesy of a Cariaga goal in the 31st minute and Tristan Henry, a 5-save shutout, 2-time Golden Glove Award winner in the Canadian Premier League, and now plying his trade for Memphis 901 FC. He preserves the clean sheet, and Memphis gets all 3 points against San Antonio. For Jeff Brightwell and the rest of our crew here in downtown Memphis, I'm Pete Pranica. Thanks so much for watching. Memphis 901 FC over San Antonio FC 1-0. Thanks for watching USL Championship Soccer. We'll see you next Saturday when Memphis is home again.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.